Welcome into this episode of Coach's Corner. Jordan Woodruff with you, and good to have you along. We're joined today by Athletic Director Joe Turner, and this episode brought to you by Heather Cannon Honda. And Coach, good to have you on board to talk a little bit about the end of the semester. It's kind of always odd. It's not like the sports start to the new year. I mean, you have the ending of some and then the start of others right here at the end of the fall into the winter. But we are now, football was over, and it's full board winter sports now for Ponca City.
Yes, sir. We're in full gear of all of our sports, swimming, wrestling, and basketball. We're in full gear all the way up to end of February, 1st of March.
Yeah, and Christmas break coming up too, which is
Right.
always an interesting time. And I think a lot of the coaches looking forward to maybe getting a little work with the kids over Christmas break.
Right, definitely. Yeah, you do a lot of growth, a lot of improvement. Especially playing football and then going to basketball. You never really got your shot down really good until Christmas break time.
Yeah. All right, and to recap now the kind of semester, let's start it off with softball, because they were kind of the first out of the gate. Not as good as what they were the previous year,
Right.
and but they still had their moments, and were right there in a regional at the end. So once again, very competitive team, and I know they didn't get to the heights that they wanted, but still a good year.
Definitely, like you just to reiterate what you said, definitely they had a great season. Not as good as last year, like you said, but nonetheless, we had to wassle on the ropes there for 3 innings and, defending state champs, and gave them everything they wanted. And, catch a break here or there, make a play here or there, and who knows what happens.
Yeah, and that's the way it was. It's just like that one play in a lot of games
Right.
was not there for those girls this year, and you never know, next year you may get those.
Yes, exactly. I can't help but think about my Chiefs. They've been
Yeah.
catching all those breaks now. Now they're not winning those one-score games. So, that's just the way it goes.
Well, some would say the refs aren't helping them out
Yeah,
nearly as
that's
much now.
probably
That's what some would say. Hey, and next one that kind of got was volleyball. And we know how tough that a sport that can be. In all honesty, you look at all the sports, volleyball may be just about the toughest, because what they can do in the metros with clubs and everything just puts you kind of at a disadvantage here at Ponca. Jenny does the best job she can,
Right.
and those girls had their moments this year too.
They did. They had several seniors that were very pivotal in their success and everything. And you're exactly right. Kind of being isolated away from metro areas. Away from those club teams and everything. So yeah, we are strapped on that situation right there. But like you said, she does as good as she with the talent level she has.
Yep. And then football, of course, the big one. Save it for a moment away, but you had cross country in there as well. And Wendy, very excited about the future, but excited about what happened this year at cross country. When you get a girl that is an all-stater,
Oh, yeah.
that is something that hasn't happened maybe a whole lot. So real big congratulations there.
Yeah, not only an all-stater, but a freshman.
Yeah.
At that. I mean, it's very talented runner. And we've got some ones to go with her. So, who knows? And not to take away the boys, they had a state qualifier, and the program's looking bright right there with a lot of young talent.
Yeah. And then football, that's the one, of course, we all talked about. Would have loved to have won a playoff game. Right there. Just didn't have it that night. It's the best way to put it. But 6A2 proved to be kind of a interesting, kind of like we thought.
Oh, yeah.
Ponca could have made a run if you win that game.
Yeah.
I mean, you look at how things transpired. Sand Springs won the state championship. Choctaw kind of upset Stillwater. They finished third in their district and
Right.
still get into the state championship. So everything was kind of right there. We knew it was kind of even this year. But football, they had their first winning season in more than 20 years.
Right.
And a lot of bright future for that squad going forward as well.
Oh, absolutely. You look at the young talent that we had out there on the field on Friday night. You still got some pups out there, that ordinarily a lot of those sophomores maybe should be playing JV still, but they've been pressed in action because of their talent and everything, and that definitely this is going to pay off in the end run. I've had those young teams, coached those young teams, and my philosophy was always, hey, one day those pups going to grow up to be big dogs, and they do.
Yeah, and like I said, just a great year overall. with what they're able to accomplish. And here you are. If you're Coach Justin Rowland, you did. I mean, yeah, you would love to have made a run in the state tournament, but you did something that hadn't been done since that group. He played part of that team, right?
Right.
In 20 years, which has had more wins than losses. We had a 6-6. There's a 5-5 in there,
Right.
but hadn't had a 6-5 record.
Right,
so
right.
I mean, that's a big accomplishment and something you
Right.
can really hang your hat on.
Exactly. To build on the future of the program, and the culture they've created there. It's we're definitely heading in the right direction, and one would like to say, hey, let's start football tomorrow and let's see what we can do.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
But I they'll get in the weight room, and once they're not in winter sport, and get bigger, stronger, faster.
Yeah. All right, now we'll turn our attention to winter sports. We'll save the spring for next time we talk, but with the winter sports, they're in season now, and kind of rough starts, I guess you would say, I think, for everybody, and they're hoping that, they can grow, get better, and maybe, I wouldn't say come back with a new team, but maybe come back with a new, basically a new kind of wave and get some momentum heading once they get to the first of next year.
Right, exactly. Right now both teams are kind of nursing some injuries.
Yeah.
A couple seniors out for the girls, and there's a couple of starters out for the boys. So, that's part of the game. You got to be next man up and be ready to go when your name's called. But you're right. I think with the break coming up, the coaches are coaching hard. And they're looking to make improvement. The boys they got some youngsters coming through the ranks, but they're just not quite ready yet. But other than that, I think they're doing a good job, and they're working hard.
Yeah, and that's basketball. The other thing that's going on is wrestling. And, a lot of those guys that are wrestling, they were playing football. They're still not in their wrestling shape. So things are going to look a lot different for wrestling, I think, once we get to the new year.
Exactly. The conditioning is the main thing. I wrestled back in in elementary. Growing up in Perry. I think when you're born, you definitely got to start wrestling.
Right.
So, but anyhow, it's a sport where, hey, if you never wrestled and somebody's got you down and you're struggling to get up, you don't realize how much energy and how much fatigue going to weigh in on the factor. But it's like you said, they're going to work on conditioning, and they'll be a lot better when the new year rolls around. And Coach Moore does a real good job of teaching fundamental techniques, and then so does Coach Agee. We actually had a tournament up here, girls tournament last weekend, and he's looking for that tournament to grow and be one of the top tournaments in Oklahoma, and inviting Kansas teams down and stuff.
Well, and that, we talked to Coach Agee about that and kind of get into that a little bit. North Central Oklahoma is known for wrestling. Ponca City, being the 6A school up here, has facilities to be able to do something like that. So, the hope is from him, and I think you back this up, is you may be able to create one of the best girls wrestling tournaments outside of maybe state championships there is.
Right, exactly. If we can get the best from our state and the best from Kansas, it could be a really good battle. Battle wars right there. So border wars, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, I think so. I think like you mentioned, the facilities we have those. Law schools don't have those facilities.
Right.
But yeah, we're looking forward to see where that goes.
Yeah, and then the last sport to kind of mention during the winter is our swimming, and of course new coach there, young guy with Max coming in, and I know he's very excited about what he can do with a program that was left on pretty solid footing.
Right, and they've done pretty well so far. They've got a lot of. Not to say that there's a better boy swimmer, but I mean they've got some pretty good boys that are swimming, and there's several girls that are really good. And it's just once again swimming is one of those sports where you definitely conditioning and everything plays a major factor in it. I mean, I hate to always say that being coached baseball and football all my life. You don't have to be in the best shape of those sports coaching.
Right.
But anyhow, those, like I said, Max is a young coach. And I've told Max to rely on me. I said, there's never a stupid question, whatever, you're a young coach. been there and done that, made 1,000 mistakes, and just how you always reach out and just phone call away.
Yeah, we can maybe help you just make 999 of those mistakes, not a full
Right,
1,000.
exactly.
Right. So, all right. Heading into the new year and kind of to end it here. First off, just kind of your recap of this year total, and heading into the new year, maybe some of the things that you would like to achieve or look forward to.
I think the most thing that I'm proud of is the culture that we have continued to develop and continue to work toward the fall sports. I always told Rolo, hey, I told him, I said, I've always been told this when I was football coach, head coach for 23 years, is that, hey, you get things started.
Yeah.
You start winning, hey, everybody wins. It's just, winning is contagious. Like many things are contagious. And so I like how the direction we're going. We've got good young talent. We just keep it together and keep building and keep molding those young kids. We want to be good citizens, not just good athletes, but good in the classroom. In the community, something the community be proud of, and something their parents be proud of. Raising good kids, and it takes a village to raise them, and we do our part in raising those kids and developing them kids into young men and women.
When you have success in a program like football, do you get with the other coaches and say, hey, here's what they're doing, here's how you can emulate that, and maybe what you're doing, and that kind of goes back into the culture of it's not just winning, it's setting these kids up for life. So when you look at that and you see that success in one area, do you try to make sure as the athletic director you're kind of taking that, sharing what they're doing with the others so they can do something similar?
Exactly. You as a coach, been there and done that. Coaches are not immune to egos, and so everything that I learned as a football coach, I stole from another coach.
Yeah.
And so don't be too prideful. Reach out to other coaches, other programs to be successful, and they'll pick their brain. Hey, what'd you do? What'd you do that worked? What'd you do that didn't work? And I remember as a young coach, I would drive anywhere to listen to certain speakers. I would be the only one on staff because my assistant coaches were in a winter sport coaching. So I'd drive to St. Louis to clinics. I'd drive to Kansas City frequently, to Dallas. Just learning football, learning X and O's, learning philosophies, learning just weight room stuff and all that. A lot of things go into factor.
Yeah, I was going to say, and especially a lot of places you coach, you're somewhat of the weight coach too a lot of times,
yes, sir.
right? So,
exactly.
So you kind of know it all, and then that helps you also be able to communicate when you get that job that has like a football coach, and you're get there and all of a sudden there's a weight coach like you have in Ponca.
Right.
You know how to communicate with them maybe to get the most out of it. So yeah, it is that networking part of things, and that's the one thing I'd say that you've kind of focused on, I think, in your tenure is going out and getting out there, talking to other schools, being active where the OSSA knows what's going on, your conferences know what's going on, your districts, all this stuff. You guys. You telling your coaches the same thing. Go be active and let them know, because it helps your kids too.
Oh, definitely. When other coaches know you and you get well known and you visit with those coaches and create those relationships, like you said, networking. It pays off when you put kids up for All-State.
Right.
Hey, it's a phone call away. Hey, I got this one guy, man. Hey, he's a great kid. Hey, 4.0, does everything you ask.
You were playing every Friday night.
Yeah.
We couldn't see. You couldn't see him, but now you know me, and I'm telling you, this is what this kid did.
Exactly, because when every coach is going to send a good highlight film in, they're not going to put no bad highlight film in.
Right.
And so you have to reach out to those coaches and give your input on those coaches to get them All-State.
Yeah.
I even had a parent reach out to me. I hadn't coached his son in 3 years. I coached him his freshman year as Okema. And then he went to Holdenville and reached out to me and see if I could reach out to a few coaches on behalf of him. I said, you bet. I'll find out who's on that committee.
Yeah.
So, it's, when you create those relationships with coaches, those are lifetime relationships with those coaches,
Yeah, and no doubt, it's a community, and you got to be a part of it. And I think that's one thing that you've kind of focused in and making sure everybody here in Ponca becomes part of that coaching community, because it's better for them, the kids, the school, everybody.
Exactly.
So, Well, Coach, appreciate your time as always.
sir.
Look
Yes, sir.
forward to the new year, and like I said, hopefully you can get these winter sports on track. And
Right.
before long, we'll be talking about spring and those ones
Yep.
actually being able to have some full practices. That'll be here before we know it.
Yes, sir. Appreciate it.
So, Coach, appreciate it.
Yes.
And that's Joe Turner, Athletic Director here at Ponca City Public Schools. Want to say thanks to Chris behind the camera. Want to say thanks to our sponsor, Heather Cannon Honda. This will be our last one of the year, so we'll see you in the new year with some more episodes of Coach's Corner. Until then, Jordan Woodruff saying so long and go Cats.